And welcome to the sale of this Amstrad 464. The unit is fully tested. It comes with one of these. This is a V1 version 1 464 Sindair, developed by us. It has 111 games on it. You can see it says 124, but that's the number of files, because some of the games like Lemons are multi-sided. A little word about the unit first. You've got the volume, set it to 31. You see it's actually already on 31. Press the orange button. Yeah, you just go through your list of files, choose a game to play, press the orange button. After you've entered the command on your Amstrad, Control Enter and then Enter again to get rid of your cursor. And then basically you would just load the game and wait for it to go. We're going to test that. We're going to do that in a minute. I'll just talk a little bit about the 464. Just try to get it a little bit in focus. There we go. So the 464, it's fully tested. Tape unit works, tested. Keyboard is absolutely fine. All the keys work. The monitor's fine, despite you can probably see that flickering, but that's just the camera that's doing that. The image is perfectly stable. It's the GT65 monitor, which is the one that works with the Amstrad 6128. In case you've got one of those, I want to get one in the future because it has the 12 volt out. You can see it on the left there, just where the end of my finger is, and that powers a disk drive on the 6128. So if you don't have one of those monitors, you're not going to be able to operate a 6128 properly with it. You would need an external 12 volt power supply to power the disk drive on your 6128. Anyway, yeah, without further ado, maybe we can load this tape game here. They take about 5 or 6 minutes to load. So what I'm doing, I've prepared the command to play a tape. So I'm just going to load Roland in the Caves here by Amsoft. That's actually supplied, as well as I think at least 8 other tapes. Just go to the beginning there, and what I'll do is I'll maybe load the first bit to see if you see that it's working okay for you, and then just basically pause the video while it comes up to the end of the game, just so obviously we don't sit here for 6 minutes waiting for that to run. Yeah, the Amstrad has been modified at the back, obviously to play our mp3, so you don't need to do that. It will take basically an mp3 player. It'll take any sound source to play games back into your Amstrad. It's very handy if your tape drive stops working as well, because if that stops working, you're going to have to get it repaired. They're not easy things to repair. I've done a few myself, but you know, I'm pretty good at repairing stuff like that. If you ever taken a tape deck apart, you know what they're sort of like, unless you're just replacing the belt. So it's very handy having the audio input on the back. So obviously you're gonna get your Amstrad. You're gonna effectively get the power supply from it, which is supplied from the monitor. And you're gonna get, you know, obviously this mp3 player as well, which has got all these games on. I mean, you know yourself. You know, if you've got one of these machines, you've probably got some tapes, you know, or you've probably got a TZX Geno device just to get more games, or you know, you buy the odd game on tape, which, you know, I think they're at what, £2 each minimum on eBay. You know, I mean, if you get 20 games, you know, it's you know, it's not difficult maths to, you know, to multiply £2 by 20. It's like paying for the machine over again. So, you know, this auction, we're starting at 1p. There's no reserve. You're going to get a fully working Amstrad, not one that's been in a loft and is basically somebody saying it worked 30 years ago when I put it up there, which it may well, but at the end of the day, you're taking a big chance. We're selling a fully working machine. everything comes with it. We don't have the original boxes, however, as it's quite large, we're going to put it in a big box with an awful lot of packaging on it, because we have to obviously protect the monitor as well. So the postage will be pretty hefty, but you know, it's going to be insured as well, so there's no real issues. Let me skip to the end of this. Obviously the game's been going for a while. You can probably hear it. Turn it up. You can probably hear it loading. So I'll skip to the end of that, or near the end of that, so you can see it finishing loading, hopefully. 1 second. Okay guys, so we're back here. The game's getting close to the end, which I hope is going to be fine. I've tested it like 1,000,000 times, so unless I'm very unlucky, that game is going to work fine. Just a word about the titles you're going to be getting here. Here they are. Roland in the Caves is actually in the machine, as we know, but there's the other games. They're basically Amsoft games, and one without a cover. Amsoft Detective. So I'll actually rewind that, so just so you know, because I know that the brown tape is showing, so I'll wind it to the beginning. Just in the background there, you can see that Roland in the Caves has successfully loaded. I think that basically covers the machine. What I'll do is I'll just turn it off. Move these games out of the way. And I'll just turn this round. I'll just unplug it. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the work that's being done. So this is an external connector for the MP3. So obviously you get our MP3 player with it, so you don't need to worry. But I mean, you can also get sound to come in there through the PC if you've got one. You know, if you're playing MP3s back through there, or any kind of converted Amstrad file, that will work fine. Obviously, like with the Commodore 64, the Amstrad corrects sound volume, so you basically go a long way towards having perfect. Just let me plug this back in a sec. You're going a long way towards having the Amstrad do a lot of the work for you in loading files back. You know, it's not like a Spectrum. I mean, I don't want to mark the Spectrum or the Texas Instruments 99 down, but you know yourself, being awfully honest, it's pretty hellish trying to get tape titles to work on them. I mean, it's kind of why here at the 9th Bit we've developed one for the Texas Instrument 99, one of these MP3 players. It's actually a more advanced one. It's a recorder as well, and we've also got this unit and the version 2 on the Spectrum as well with 200 games, just because it's so much easier when stuff works the first time you load it. I mean, I remember back in the 80s when I was a young lad. I was about 13, I think, when I got a Spectrum, and you know, the amount of times a game would even look like it would load and it got right to the end, and it would, the next thing you would see was 1982 Sinclair Research Limited. Obviously the Amstrad, the Commodore 64 have got great tape technology. The Amstrad's obviously British, the Commodore 64 is American, but you know, they managed to suss it, you know. Commodore 16 and Plus 4 obviously as well, and VIC 20. But you know, the Amstrad, you know, if you play a game back through it, a lot of the time the sound will just work. It will be fine. Anyway, I'm starting to gab a little bit there. So this is our Amstrad. We have it for sale. It's a unit that's come in. Hasn't put a foot wrong. Done a lot of testing on it actually with our Amstrad devices. I think what I'll do now as well is I'm going to actually test a game off the mp3. I'm just going to get this into focus while we do it. If I can't get it in focus, I might pause the... Oh, there we go, it worked. Wow. It doesn't often work for me, that. So what I'm going to do, you can see I've selected a Roland game here. It's... I don't know whether I can get my finger in front of this properly. Where's my... Oh, there we go. Yeah, you could see... you could see that it's actually 3 minutes 14 loading time. Let's give that a go, and I'll probably pause this video and sort of resume it as it gets closer to finishing. But I'll start it working just so you know that the unit is working. I've turned the sound down on the... I forgot to plug this in. That's not very clever, is it? Right, okay. Let me pause it and do it properly. Hang on. Okay, so thanks for waiting. Just setting my volume up there. Let's go back to the correct game. So obviously I didn't plug this thing in, which isn't ideal. Let's see if we can turn the sound up on the Amstrad. So we've got the Amstrad set up in the back. So you'll see that it's Roland Goes Square Bashing. You can probably see in the background there that it says Roland Goes Square Bashing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip to the end, and you can see the game finishing. You can probably see it loading there. Anyway, I'll skip to about 3 minutes and you'll be able to see it load. Okay, so we're at 3 minutes 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And there we go, the game has loaded. Just fix the zoom. It's still going on the mp3. I'll just stop it. It was actually loading the next file. But yeah, so there we go. Ooh, very loud. So you can see that the mp3 is working just fine. Just a little bit about the Amstrad before we go. There are a few little issues that don't affect it. One is the tape reset. We don't actually have that button anymore, so the tape counter will work, but the counter won't be able to be reset. A little bit annoying, but not the end of the world. The other thing, yeah, is obviously the cover off the tape deck as well, which actually also means that you can't eject a tape. However, if you put your finger in the middle underneath and do it like 100 times, and you'll see how easy it is to get the tape out. The only other issue is the monitor. The brightness, you can see that when I adjust the brightness in the monitor, particularly not the contrast actually, didn't know that, but just the brightness, it goes a bit flickery when you adjust it, but once you stop adjusting it, it's absolutely fine. And those are the only issues with this machine. Good luck on the auction. It's a one-piece start. There's no reserve, as I said before. So yeah, you're going to be getting a good machine, and you're going to be saving yourself a bomb as well on tapes if you manage to win that one. Please subscribe to us as well. You know, if you've got an Amstrad, we're going to be putting loads more videos up on how to do stuff. We'll cover the 6128 as well. And obviously, if you've got other machines like myself, my partner, We love these machines. We love the ZX Spectrum. We love the Commodore 64. We're really into all of them. We'll be doing some reviews as well. You know, you can. I don't know whether you're aware, for instance. I mean, you can hook your Amstrad, any Amstrad, up to any color LCD TV nowadays. You know, you've got like a great cable. I forget who it's from now. We're going to do a review on that. I've actually got one upstairs that's fantastic. You just basically hook a SCART cable up to any LCD. You can even run a converter if you don't have SCART. Most people do have SCART, particularly in Europe. The other name for it is a Euro connector if you're not familiar with what a SCART is. There's conversion boxes for them if you want to run it through HDMI. But, you know, if you don't want to run a green screen, I quite like them actually, because I quite like the monochrome feel of some of the games. I quite like that, you know, retro feel. Get yourself one of the color cables, because RGB on an Amstrad, it's better than a Commodore 64. I'll be quite honest. Even though I must admit I do prefer the Commodore 64, just because of the amazing sound. But an Amstrad, it cannot be beaten on an LCD. You put RGB out on that and you've got a fantastic colour picture. So thanks for looking, and good luck in the auction, and please subscribe and look for our other videos, of which we're making loads of them. Okay, thanks. Bye for now.